it's Brian again. So today I will show you the first step of machine learning problem with the help of AWS SageMaker. So the first one, so as you know that for machine learning pipeline, we did first start with data and with data processing. And after that, we use data to build a model. And with after model training is done, we can deploy the model to new endpoint for serving. So with the to SageMaker AWS, yeah, the create our new container for us. Yeah, it means that it's a SageMaker processing, yeah, for data distribution, and we can use that for distribute data processing with Apache Spark. Okay, as you know that Apache Spark is a unified analytic engine for large-scale data processing, and Spark framework is often used with machine learning workflow and for running a data transformation or the feature engineering. Okay, and as I said, AWS SageMaker provide a prebuilt Docker image that include Apache Spark and another dependency for us to easily to run data processing distribute data processing job, training job, processing job in AWS SageMaker. So this notebook here will demonstrate how to use the prebuilt Spark image on SageMaker processing using SageMaker Python SDK. Yeah. So this notebook will go through the functionality of a SageMaker Spark container. The first one is the PySpark application. We use SageMaker SDK, PySpark processor class, and another demonstration is the adding additional Python file or Java file dependency to job. Yeah, and the last one is how to specifying additional Spark configuration for okay. To to summarize is that this demonstration, this notebook, is show you how to use how to data processing distribution with Apache Spark on SageMaker using SageMaker job processing job. Okay, we go through the content. The first one will how to set up this notebook. And the first example is running basic PySpark application. The second example is specifying additional Python or Java file dependency. It means that when you run the Python code or PySpark code, you also want to adding additional Python library. So how can you add that into PySpark, right? And example 3 is how to modify or specifying additional Spark configuration. Okay. So the first one is setup. So this notebook here I download to my local host, as you can see here, and you need to install the SageMaker SDK. Here you can see that I already installed that, so it notifies satisfying. Okay, so we need to set up S3 bucket. As you know, that S3 bucket is a place that AWS store your data, right? So we need to create a section in SageMaker, and I also define the default bucket Spark data process here, and I create a role for AWS SageMaker. So this notebook. So if you don't know what is the role AWS role here, you can see my previous video, yeah, with introduction about AWS role, and you need to copy the ARN of the role. So I will do that again for you. So first one, you need to go to the IAN. Okay. And next we go to role here. So you can create the role here, but I already create that, so I will searching my own role here. So I add two roles here. The first one is a SageMaker full access, and then the next is the policy to accept S3, because you know that this demo is about storing, processing data in SageMaker, and also store the data in S3 bucket, right? So we need to full access into two two application in AWS, right? So when you run the first live code here, you can see that it will create the S3 bucket, and we can see in S3 here. Reload that. Yeah, you can see that it will create the Spark data process bucket for you. Okay, you pause again. Okay, so we create our bucket first. Okay, we bring our bucket Spark data process. The next thing is that we need to download the sample file, the sample data from a public bucket. So you can see here, if you clone the abalone CSV file and store that into data abalone CSV, and after run that, we can check in our localhost with the data abalone file CSV file. Okay, we go to data, and you can see that the abalone here is storing in your localhost, right? So let's go through first preview about this data. The first column is about the sex, yeah, and another row is the feature. Okay, so we go to write Apache Spark script. So I use the annotation write file here to store all the code in this cell into the file, yeah, and we go through detail about the code. If we are import the ML feature, machine learning feature by Spark, yeah, and also define SQL type, because our data is like data frame, so we need to use SQL to transform the data, right? So we go to the main file here, so we add some arguments with S3 configuration with input and also output here, yeah. We create a Spark sessions, right? And we need to save RDD, which is the only way to write the next data frame to SCSV format, right? And after that, we need to define the schema for our data set, because our data set is not have any title for this. But we need to add into Spark. We need to find the structure type and struct field here with the title of the data set. And true here, it means that it can be null, right? The struct field, the type, and it's null or not. And the other thing here is we allow that it can be null value. And this code here is for downloading data from S3 to data frame, right? We need to read data from S3 bucket, yeah, and with the schema, right? With this schema. Okay, we because our data have one column is a string, so we need to convert that into our one hot, because it can be categorical. It's a sex title, so we need to index that with string indexer in PySpark, right? And after that, we can use a one hot encoder to transform that into a vector, right? And we will concatenate example all the feature into one vector called feature here, okay? And we'll create the pipeline in our PySpark with the state from sex indexer with the last one is example, and we'll feed that with our data total df here, okay, total df here. And we will apply the transformation. with the fit, previous fit. And we will split that into chaining and validation here. Here we use 80% and 20% for validation. And we need to convert that into RDT to save that into CSV, because original is like this is original in the Apache Spark, right? So we need to convert that. So you can see here the ring string here is labeled, the output and X feature here is a vector for us. Yeah, and we save file into S3, and if we put that into S3 file, and we do that the same with validation file, and also upload that into validation. So when running this cell, if you overwriting our processing pile, as you can see here, the coding and preprocessing pile. Okay, so running the SageMaker processing job, the first one is we go through the PySpark processor argument. So this multi-node job with two M5 extract instance. So we can define specify the instant count with instant count and instant type. Here we use true instant and instant type ML M5 extract. And we can define Spark framework. Here we use 3.1. And we can add more command line arguments. Script such as in our code is S3 input and output bucket. And we can also defining the URI logs S3 with this argument parameter. Okay, so we go to detail here. We define the prefix of S3 and we upload the data from local into the bucket. Okay, and after that we will run the processing job, define the job and running. You can see here our code is defined with submit apps parameter, and we'll define our argument for the processing code here and the URI logs. Okay, so when running this cell, it create the bucket SageMaker US1, and also it will create a processing job for us. Okay, we'll go through to check is there any file that we upload into S3 or not. Okay, we'll go to S3, SageMaker demo, timestamp and input. Okay, raw here. You can see that our data is uploaded into S3, right? And we go to our processing job. So here you can see that the job is in progressing. Yeah, and then go to more detail. Okay, as you can see here. So the instant type is ML, M5 extract, and also the arguments like what we define for our Spark job from S3 input and S3 output. Okay, and also instant count is true, like what we define in Spark, right? After that, we can check whether the our chaining and validation file is storing in S3 or not, and we can query the file and getting the first file lines of the file. And see here we can go to this is the URI of S3 bucket, S3 file. And see that in input and preprocess, and go to S3 to check. Okay, input, preprocess, abalone. And see here if you split into chaining and validation file. So we can use the Spark logs. Okay, we can go to the process job of AWS. So it could be this one. Let me check it. Yeah, I will check it. Okay, you can view the logs here. Okay, let me see a log here. Yeah, this is the log of our PySpark running. Right. Okay. Okay, we go to the next example. So how to adding additional Python file dependency. Imagine that your code want to add in more library from our source, and you want to add that into our Spark job, right? So here we add in a simple Python file. So like just what we do here, we write a hello PySpark up here, right file, and we will create a simple query in a SQL from Spark, right? And also we create the function here with hello PySpark UIDF. You can see here we import the file. Okay, so if we use that into this one, okay, right? Okay. So like what we do here above, we also upload the data, create the input and output of S3, and also define the Spark processor. But what we must be noticed here is that we need to add in submit Python file here. Okay, after running this one, we will have the processing job. We view this one here, the UDF. Okay, we have this job here, UDF here. Okay, you can see the app specification here. The Python file is the hello PySpark, right? Okay. Input file, right? And we can validate the file that are the output file. You can see here with the file will be stored in our S3 here with Spark demo and output cell, and we can see that in S3. SageMaker Spark demo with timestamp. I mean this one. Now the output here is for sale, and we have the file here, right? JSON file. Okay. So the last one is how to specific additional Spark configuration for this one. So like above, we define the PySpark processor, and we define the configuration of Spark, just like the property of execution memory or executor cores, right? And we also add in configuration, and we create a job for us. So you can also see in the check in the processing job here, right? So we have the PySpark job here. Okay, right. Okay, it's fine ML large. Okay, right. So to summarize, this example is to show you how to use the processing job in AWS SageMaker to processing the data with distributing. Okay, and we can use the Apache Spark with container integrate into SageMaker. Yeah, available in SageMaker to create the distributing job for processing the large scale data. I think that is really helpful for data engineering and also data science, is to how to processing big data and to make it to use the SageMaker with powerful with Apache Spark is a powerful tool. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoy, and also if you like and find it interesting, you can subscribe to don't missing any update for machine learning news from me. So bye bye. So here you can see that the job is in progressing. Yeah, I will go to more detail. Okay, as you can see here. So the instance type is ML, M5 extract, and also the arguments like what we define for our Spark job from S3 input and S3 output. Okay, and also instant count is true, like what we define in Spark, right? And after the job is done, and we can view logs.